So hi everyone, this is Drastic Ed from the Achievement Squad, coming at you with a 100% walkthrough for the indie title Die With Glory. Now as part of this video there is a full spoiler warning effect because we will show you every aspect of the game. So it's going to take you approximately 45 minutes to get all of the achievements in this actual game. You'll notice that this video is about 1 hour and a half long. Now the reason for it being that long is because on previous feedback we've received, we've been asked to cover all of the solutions for the games and not just the stuff linked to achievements. But to accommodate for the best of both worlds, for the guys that are looking just for the achievements, we'll tell you the levels that you do and you don't need to do, and we'll cover all levels and all possible outcomes of the story for the completionists. So let's get this show on the road.
Behold my beloved warrior, mighty, purposeful, undefeated, and deep asleep.
Not even last night's storm could wake me. I need to hurry.
Okay, so we are now in the kind of introduction level, or level 1 as we call it, and you're going to start off on the beach just here. Now the first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to grab the axe that is embedded in the front of the warship on your left. And you're going to get the prompt to go and die. So grab your axe. Once you have that axe, we want to start making our way to the right, and we're going to grab our first achievement and trophy at the same time. And as you come across this way, you're going to find a tree with a skull hanging in it. You want to chop down that tree. Now that skull is actually kind of like your hint advisor. Press Y or anything at any time to engage with it when it's got an exclamation mark above its head, and it will give you a clue about the game. Keep going to the right, and eventually you're going to come to this kind of castle hill. Right, so you want to take a minute and you need to scale this, and you need to click on the rope. Now, as you're going up, you're going to see all of the stuff falling down. You'll want to jump to the left to avoid it, otherwise you will die. You've got infinite lives, so it doesn't really matter. You just respawn back at the bottom of the castle. So keep climbing your way up, and eventually when you hit the top you're going to come across the Red Knight. Make your way over to the Red Knight, and this is going to complete the intro level, as well as bagging you 3 achievements in the process. Also at this stage you can pick any of the dialogue options, it doesn't make any difference.
Aren't we in Valhalla already?
Were you sleeping, Sigurd? Good morning, Midgard. This is not a dream. This is Hack and Slash Tavern. Time to hack it, then slash it, and then maybe die and go to Valhalla.
Okay, so now we're in the Hack and Slash Tavern, and we are, this is effectively like a warp room out of Crash Bandicoot. It's going to take you into something called stories. Each story follows a different chain of events, and based on the description that Sigurd gives before he goes in, we'll define how the story kind of plays out. But walking between the different sections will trigger the different storylines. You can replay them at any point. It doesn't really matter. So at this stage, there's a bit of dialogue before we can go into the next room. In this one we can actually just say, okay, I'll tell another story. Walk to the right and you're going to go into something called the Dragon Cave, and Sigurd would now tell the story about the Dragon Cave.
Gotta listen. Drinks are on me.
Now to trigger the right story for this one, you want to pick the top option, save Joss from certain death, and nothing much in fact is the next option that you need to select. So for this storyline to work, you'll need to keep the Red Knight alive as well as keeping the dragon alive itself. So to kick this off, now straight away we need to move very quickly. Make your way over to the bridge, and as the Red Knight is getting closer, you want to blow your horn to scare the Raven off from the meat. This allows the Red Knight to cross over the bridge, and eventually the Raven's going to peck the meat and you're going to fall down to the bottom. Once you're at the bottom, you want to make your way over to the left and you're going to find a switch on the wall. You need to flip that switch, and that's going to trigger the boulder on the left to roll towards you. So make a run for the right. You've got plenty of time really, to be honest, so you should be okay. Flip the switch on the right, and this is going to open up a panel just next to you. And you want to grab from that panel the potion. That's going to make you invisible, and the boulders is going to go straight past you. Now we're going to get ourselves an achievement here, so we need to hop onto the rocks and then hop onto this ledge, and we need to let this ledge fall into the lava 10 times to bag ourselves the achievement for dying in fire 10 times. It's related to Pompeii, so keep doing this, and as you're doing this eventually you're going to receive a prompt to disable the fireballs in the level. I just say yes at this point in time because it just makes it easier. So keep falling, do this 10 times until you have bagged yourself the achievement. So I'm going to cut this short because I'm pretty sure you don't want to watch me die 10 times over. You get the gist of how death works now after doing it probably 9 other times. Now this section is actually kind of like Flappy Bird to some extent, so hop on the ledge and you want to push up on your analog stick to keep the ledge floating, but make sure that you're navigating your way through all the different spikes, and you want to try and stay ahead of the Red Knight, because when you get to the other side you're going to need to perform a task to save him. So keep going, and as you can see, the actual hitting the stalactites and the stalagmites doesn't actually kill you, it just causes them to fall and slows you down. But as you arrive at the other side, you're going to see that there's some blue crystals that are just above your head. Now you need to walk forward and you need to blow the horn, and that's going to cause those crystals to fall down, and that's going to stop them from falling on top of the Red Knight, continuing to keep them alive. Now that you've done this, you want to make your way to the right. You're going to see the dragon here. Now you want to quickly interact with it just to get a bit of dialogue. Once you've done that, you want to take the horn and you want to blow that onto the dragon, and it's going to cause him to wake up. And you'll bag yourself an achievement for getting the dragon to wake up in that sense. So once your dragon dialogue is over, make your way to the right, and eventually you're going to come across this kind of funky looking spear, but you'll notice that you've also gone full circle right back to the start of the level for some reason. So grab your spear. Once you've got that, you want to make your way back to the left, and you're going to go to the dragon and you're going to use your spear on the dragon. So now you're going to be presented with a dialogue choice, and you're going to want to pick the option of walking away from the dragon, saying he's pathetic, let it go. This is going to complete this version of the story. Now for the guys hunting achievements and completion, you'll need to actually replay this story again, but in a scenario where the Red Knight is going to die. So once you've done this, it's going to take you back to the tavern.
Dragon who didn't want to fight me, so I just left.
My love, you're so merciful. But you failed to get your glorious death from Dragon Who and reach Valhalla.
So we're now back in the tavern, and to trigger the second story linked to the Dragon's Cave, we're going to want to walk to the left into the next room and then walk back into the dragon's cave again. And this is going to cause a prompt to appear on the screen, giving you to play a different variation of this story. So as you come in, you want to press Y to tell the story, but this time I say I didn't help Joss there, and we're then going to pick that option. This is the new story, and then you can either pick nothing much in fact, but then also you can have the option of picking well I killed him. Picking the option of well I killed him will involve you actually killing the dragon this time around. So as you can see, the scenario, Red Knight is dead and the dragon is dead. So start this one off by staying still and let the Red Knight walk forward until his impending doom. Now that's happened, you want to walk forward and you want to drop down. You don't die, but he does, which is a bit weird because he's a bit more heavily armored than you. I think he'll be okay. Go to the left and you want to hit the switch again. This time you'll see it's an ice ball on the left. Now make your way to the right and you want to hit the switch on the right hand side. You'll then need to grab the vial that is inside the secret compartment once again to go invisible. The ice boulder will pass you and it will go into the lava and melt. Grab the Red Knight's sword and you want to make your way to the left until you find the dragon. Speak to the dragon. Then use your horn on the dragon. And then use your sword on the dragon when he pokes his head through the hole. Or their head, sorry. But yeah, use your sword on the dragon. And this is going to trigger some more discussion for you. But when the prompt comes around, you need to pick the option that says you're going to kill the dragon. So now you're coming up on that option and you're going to want to pick I'll make him fight me. This will complete the second story of the first area.
Dragon who could not kill me. I was victorious again.
My love, you are the toughest warrior ever, but you failed to get your glorious death from Dragon Who and reach Valhalla.
Okay, so now we're going to make our way into the next section, which is called Shroomtown. So Shroomtown has 3 potential stories. If you're achievement hunting, it's recommended that you complete all of 3 of these stories. So now as you come into this area, you want to pick the first option in the dialogue when prompted to. So the story of how I met Joss again, and you want to start this story off.
I was standing under the town gates.
Okay, so now that you're in control of Sigurd, you want to pick up the mushrooms that are just to your left. Now we're going to make our way over to the gate on the right, but the moment you get to the gate to open, immediately walk backwards to the left because otherwise you're going to get run over by this cart thingy. Once you've done that, you want to make your way to the right, and we're going to go into the grounds. We're going to want to climb our way up these stairs. So click on the up button, and you want to keep on going up. I find these little red circles a little bit fiddly. You need to use your right analog stick to make sure that they're on the right circle that you need to select. Once you get to the top, you want to ring the bell, and it's going to cause a battery to fall off of the tower. Now walk to the left and fall down. You'll be okay, don't worry. And then you want to grab the battery that is on the left hand side just here. Now that you have your battery, we want to make our way to the right. We want to go past all of the stuff in the middle, and we want to go into this circular door just here. Once you've opened that up, you're going to be in a room with a big green crusader looking like knight. Now wait for the candle to dim, and he's going to go over and switch the candle back on. Once he's doing that, you want to make your way upstairs, and on the dresser at the top of the stairs you're going to find a key which you're going to need to pick up. Now that you've got the key, you can't go back down the stairs because of him, so make you all the way to the left, and you want to jump off of the balcony to the floor below. Now that you've done this, we want to make our way back into the house. So once you're back in the house, we're going to need to use the key on the cage to unleash this weird blue looking creature. It reminds me of one of those creatures from that stabby stab game. You can't unlock the cage in the dark, but when you get the opportunity to unlock the cage, he's going to run outside and he's going to run into the bee hut. These bees are then going to fly on inside, and it's going to go at the hamster guy. Spoiler. But it's going to chase him up the stairs, and it's going to cause everything to all these forms of different chaos to break apart upstairs. Once this little chaotic moment is over, you want to step out of the building. Once you're outside, you want to pick up the sword and the rope that are on the floor directly in front of you. Once you've done that, you'll see these two little pegs just to the right of the door, and you want to use your rope on it. Make your way to the left, and we're going to climb to the tower. So we're going to need to go up to where this kind of mixing machine is. We don't need to go all the way to the top of the tower, but just up to the top, and you want to install the battery when you're prompted. So go up. Choose the magnifying glass option. And once you've done this, that magnifying glass will change to a battery prompt. Use the battery, and that's going to kickstart your mixer. And then you want to throw in your mushrooms that you picked up from earlier. This is going to give you a vial of green slippery stuff that you can use to your advantage. So make your way down and then go to the right, and we're going to go back to our rope. Once you're back at the rope, you want to use the green mushroom mixture on the rope, and that's going to cause him to slip and fall. And this is going to give you the opportunity to use your sword on the Green Knight, unveiling the plot twist of the Green Knight himself. This is going to give you the option of picking whether you want to fight the person, or say I couldn't have said it better myself, you want to pick the bottom option to end the level. This will bag you the achievement for completing Shroomtown. However, if you're chanting the achievements, we will need to replay the Shroomtown level again, but with a different story.
Defeated by hamsters. Ha!
I'm sure you understand that death from a bunch of hamsters is not that glorious.
Okay, so to trip the second version of the story, make your way to the left and then back into the Shroomtown section of the bar, and this is going to re-display the options of you picking the different types of stories. So go to the left, walk back to the right, and you want to press Y or triangle to get the prompts back up on the screen. And we're going to pick Shroomtown after Joss's death, and then we're going to pick There Was Dan, We Got Along. Now we want to start this one off, but it's going to change the dynamic of the level a little bit again. So let's get the show on the road. So to kick things off, we're actually going to want to go up the mushrooms on the left hand side. The gate will not open this time due to the previous circumstances told in the dragon story. So jump on up by pressing up on each mushroom. It's going to make him bounce, and then you just need to complete some basic platforming. As you can see, I completely fail. But bounce your way up the mushrooms, and when you get to the very top one, we want to make our way across to this big umbrella mushroom at the top, and you want to land on top of that one. Once you're on top, make your way to the far right, and you want to fall down to the bottom. Once you're at the bottom, we're going to make our way forward, and we're going to go up the tower this time. So don't touch the switch, it's only going to kill you. Make your way up, go left, and we're going to grab this salt shaker that we've got here. Make our way up one more floor, and then another floor, and then up one more floor to the bell. Once you're at the top, give that a ring, and that's going to cause the mixing machine to fall down. Walk to your left and fall down, and we're going to grab the red battery that is on the floor just here, and we're going to attempt to use that on the switch that is just behind us, but that won't go to plan. So something funky is now going to happen. You're going to see yourself. A bit of a time splitters loop paradox-esque approach here. He's going to give you a green battery. With no time to explain this, you have to use it. It doesn't really make any sense why there is no time though. Use the green battery on the switch, and then he's going to pull the switch automatically. This will open the gate on the left. Now make your way to the beehive, and you will use the salt shaker to get yourself some bees. Make your way even further to the right, and you would hold a discussion with the guy on the cart. Now this guy's going to say he's leaving, so you're going to need to run to the left, and for some reason I kept dying here when my practice runs, but make your way up the stairs, wait for him to get out of the way. Once he's gone, just drop off to the right, and you want to make your way over to this bard fella who seems to be doing a bit of a Punch and Judy style show half the time. Now you'll want to talk to him, and he's going to ask you to get him some strings for his lute. And then once the prompts are done, you want to say, I'll get your strings if you give me the batteries. Then you make your way to the left, and you want to climb up the pipe that is just here. Once you're at the top of the mushroom, you'll see some strings just on the right. You want to make your way over and grab those. And once you have those in your pocket, just drop off the right hand side of the mushroom. You'll be fine, don't worry. And then you want to give these back to the Dan fella to give him. He'll give you the batteries for you to switch on the left hand side. So pick the top option, here they are, now give me the batteries, and then do the needful with the switch. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to make your way to the right, and we're going to go out of the door. There's going to be a bit of dialogue about beautiful views and stuff like that. But as you make your way over here, you're going to get struck by lightning. Your battery is going to become a green battery, and the portal is going to open up on your right hand side. And lo and behold, once you go through the portal, you meet up with your old self. And this is where you'll see the point about I said there's no time to waste. I don't really get what the hurry is. Anyway, give him the battery, and you want to make your way to the right and back through the portal. Once you've gone back through the portal, make your way over to the Green Knight. You also bag yourself the time loop achievement at this time, and you want to go speak to the hamster knight fella from the previous story. You'll want to choose the option of leave when prompted. And then once you've picked the option leave, it's going to give you the option of actually using the bees in the salt shaker on the knight. This is going to scare him off to the right hand side. Just directly in front of you, you'll see a sword. Make your way over to that sword, and you want to pick that one up, and then make your way over to the Green Knight and challenge him to a fight. Once you've issued your challenge, you want to say, couldn't have said it better myself, and that will finish this level. So for the achievement hunters, you need to stay one more time to rerun this story for the third time.
defeated by hamsters. Ah,
Okay, so to get the next version of the story, we want to exit to the left and we want to come back into the Shroomtown part of the bar, and this is going to trigger the next set of dialogue options to get you on the right story. So make your way to the left and then come back in again. Now once you're in here, you want to retell the story by pressing Y or triangle, and we want to pick the bottom option of where the Red Knight dies. Okay, and then we will want to pick the option again where we are calling Dan a pathetic weakling. And then we want to start this story. So one thing you'll notice, there's two slight differences in this approach. One will get you an achievement and one will give you a different relationship with the Dan character. So make your way to the left and hop on up the mushrooms till you get to the very top of the big umbrella mushroom. Alright, so we want to drop off the right hand side, and once we're in the castle walls, we're going to go after our next set of efforts. So I make my way up the stairs this time around. I don't grab the salt shaker on this way, we'll come back for it later. It makes no difference though when you pick it up. Make your way to the top and you want to ring the bell. We're now going to need to do something a little bit tricky. Drop down and go to your right. And we're going to need to catch the egg. So stand right next to the beehive and the egg is going to fall down and you will catch it. If this is done rightly, you're going to get yourself an achievement for careful handling for catching the egg as it falls down. Now make your way to the left and you want to grab the battery, and now you're going to see the same incident where you try to use the red switch, but I actually go up and grab the salt shaker at this time. It doesn't matter when you pick it up, but try to use the red switch and the time paradox will happen again. And once you've done that, you want to grab the bee in the salt shaker. Keep making your way to the right and you want to talk to the guy that is on the cart. Once he starts to move, you want to move to the left and get out of his way so he doesn't run you over. Make your way up to the first floor of the tower because it's just safer from here. And once he's gone past, you want to drop down to the other side. Continue across until you see Dan the Bard, and you're going to have a bit of a debate about batteries. Now, as opposed to finding his loot strings, go for the more violent approach and actually say that you're gonna punch him in the face. Once he does that, he'll give you the green battery that you need, and that's going to allow you to pull the switch just here. And then once you've done it, you want to make your way to the right until you're outside of the castle walls and you'll get struck by lightning again. Once you've been struck by lightning, your green battery is now, or red battery is now fully charged. Enter the wormhole and then you want to give yourself the green battery. Exit out of the wormhole on the right hand side. And once you've done that, we're going to go over and speak to our favourite hamster knight, and we're going to try and edge him out of the situation. So make your way over and talk to him. You want to leave, and then this is going to give you the prompt of using the salt shaker full of bees on him. So use that on him, and that's going to cause him to run to the right. You'll be able to pick up the sword by the grave just next to it, so make your way over to this one. Pick that one up. And then you'll want to go over and challenge the hamster knight with your sword. And you want to choose the bottom option. I've said it better myself. This is going to complete the Shroomtown stories. So the next level we're about to go into is called the Jungle Temple. This is another level that we will need to do for the achievements. However, you do not need to do all of the achievements, sorry, each of the different stories that are in the Jungle Temple area. You only need to do the first one for you to get to the end of the full 1000G or all of the trophies. However, I still recommend that you play it through because there are different aspects of the stories and different storylines which are actually quite interesting, and I do think this is quite a good fun story to play through. So once you've done that, you want to make your way to the right into the Jungle Temple area, and you're going to get the prompt on the screen to do the needful. Pick the first option. I tried my best, but he grew up harmless. And this is going to take you into the jungle area, and it's going to be very much a case of navigating some jungle orientated puzzles.
We woke up in a strange and very hot place.
Okay, so to kick this one off, there's going to be a bit of dialogue in the beginning between you and Ragnar. So skip through that dialogue. Once this is over, you want to inspect the egg that is just next to you. And once you've inspected it, there's going to be something called a Jabberwocky inside. And you're going to need to pick up this Jabberwocky. Now that you have your Jabberwocky, make your way up the stone steps in the background next to the cauldron. But just jump straight to the vine that is hanging out in the middle. And then you want to hop over to the goat. Next to the goat, you're going to find a carrot. You want to grab this one. If you talk to the goat, there's a nice little Metal Gear Solid reference and also a Borderlands reference from the Hammerlock DLC, Lale Lule Lo. Walk into the tree and it's going to fall over and land in the water. And you want to drop down to the left. Once you're on the floor, you want to pick up the leaves. Now you've got a bit of a jumping puzzle here, so we're going to need to use these logs and keep hopping across. You'll notice that they sink and they can be a bit of a pain, but keep moving around and you will get to the other side. So keep going to the right. If you fall in the water, all it happens to do is just push you back to the beginning. Once you're at this side, you want to climb up the ladder. Once you're at the top of the ladder, you're going to pick up the fishing rod that is there, and you're going to get yourself the achievement you need. And then you want to walk through the door that is on your left hand side. Once you're inside, you want to pick up the loaf of bread, and then we want to place the Jabberwocky on the third rope. This is going to open up the door, and outside you're going to see a raven pecking away at a fish. Pick up your Jabberwocky as well at the same time, and then you want to interact with the bird 3 times to scare it away, and that is going to give you access to the swordfish, which is your weapon for this level. So pick that one up. There's also a mask next to you. You can pick it up if you like, but it doesn't affect this story. Now you want to make your way to the right, and we want to go down the ladder. Once you're at the bottom, we want to hop to the left and keep doing so until you make it to the other side. You'll also find a feather from the raven along the way. You can pick it up, but it doesn't do anything for this part of the story. Now we're going to talk to this warlock here twice. And then when you're speaking to him again, we're going to need him to do some magic for us, apparently. So pick the first option, come on, just one trick. Pick the top option again, some magic related to raise the Jabberwocky. Pick I'm just healthy and curious. And then you will take, oh, so you have an axe in your stuff. And you say, I hope it's not cursed or something. This is going to result in the warlock giving you a magnet which automatically gets tied to your fishing rod. Now make your way to the left until you keep reaching this big stone face just here. There'll be a bit of dialogue around it. But we're going to need to fish the can of soup out of the water that's just on your left hand side. I don't understand why can of soups exist in the Viking days like this. Anyway, fish that out. Once that's been fished out, we're going to need to go up. So make your way to the stairs, go up to the top, and once you're by the cauldron, you'll need to click on the carrot option, the soup option, and the bread option. And then you want to put the Jabberwocky into the soup thingy. This is going to cause them to grow up and be big and friendly. Okay, so now that this is over, this is going to finish the level. It'll be a bit of a cutscene that you'll need to endure. Now for the achievement hunting folks, jump to the section that is the Sky Battle and story number 1. I'll have the timestamps down below so you can just jump straight to it. So that'll either be in the description or the comment section, but that'll allow you to jump to the next part that you need to progress forwards.
But Hilda saved my soul and brought me back to life.
If I hadn't revived you, your soul would have been stolen. So unfortunately, Valhalla was once again out of reach.
Alright, and now we're back in the tavern. So achievement hunters, keep going to the right. For completionists, you want to stay in this room, so you want to walk out to the left, come back in, and you're going to pick the option of you should have seen his teeth a monster. This is going to give you the storyline where the Jabberwocky becomes a bit of a problem to deal with. So start this one off. And now the puzzle actually varies quite differently in this one if you're going down the Predator road. So exhaust your conversations with Ragnar. And once that's done, you want to open up your egg again and you want to take the Jabberwocky out. Now that you've done this, you want to make your way to the top of the stairs, and then you're going to want to swing across to your friendly goat again. Once you're on this other side, you want to grab a carrot that is on the floor. You can talk to the goat about Metal Gear Solid again if you want to, but walk into the tree and cause it to fall over. Drop down, pick up the leaves because you can, and then you're going to hop onto the logs and you want to jump your way across to the other side like we did earlier. And once you reach this ladder here, make your way up to the top. You can grab the fishing rod also. Once you've got this, enter the room and you want to go to grab yourself the bread. Make your way to the very end and you want to hang the Jabberwocky up on the last piece of rope. And then we want to interact with the bird 3 times. This will give us the fish and it will give us the mask. So pick these up. And then we want to grab the Jabberwocky off the rope again. Make your way over to the ladder and head down to the bottom. Once you're at the bottom, we want to use the logs to hop across. About midway along, you're going to find a feather. You want to pick this one up. Keep going to the other side. And then once you're on the other side, we're going to need to talk to the warlock fella again. So speak to him twice. And now this is going to allow us to create some dialogue options. So we want to pick come on, just one trick, some magic to raise the Jabberwocky, I'm just healthy and curious, Oh, you have an axe in your stuff? I hope it's not cursed or something. This will cause the warlock to give you the magnet, which goes on the end of the fishing rod again. Now make your way to the left across to the large stone face. This is going to trip a bit of dialogue with the mask, and they're going to talk about the actual stone architecture. Once you've done that, we're going to need to fish the can of soup out of the water again. We're also going to have to do a bit of platforming here, and it's a little bit tricky. And it kind of reminds me of some of those levels that you used to get in Crash Bandicoot, like the rooftop levels. So you see the ledges are going in and out, and you want to hop across them. Just make sure you're not stood on a ledge that is retracting, or jumping to a ledge that is not there, based on its current situation. Now the idea is to make it the other side of the water, to keep on hopping up and hopping over the gaps. And once you are across the other side, you will need to engage with some of the locals. Okay, now that we're here, we want to speak to this first lady, and she is going to give you a pickaxe in the exchange for a feather. She's also a friend of yours that we'll encounter again in the later of the game, but exhaust all dialogue options with her. Now speak to the next person that is in the line. And then on to the next. And now speak to the guy at the front 3 times in a row and pick all possible dialogue options. Now, the reason why I did this is because I had some problems with getting into the temple on the second playthrough versus the first playthrough. First playthrough I could walk in, the second one I couldn't for some reason. So exhaust this conversation. Now that you're done here, we want to walk over and talk to this fella that is guarding the front door, but use the mask on him so you just pass straight by. Climb up that first ladder, and we want to place the Jabberwocky onto the rope, and he's going to act as a counterweight. We then need to keep hopping on this rope here until the block on the left hand side cannot go any higher. So keep pulling it down. Once it's down, make your way over and climb down the ladder, and then very quickly jump to the rope you were just pulling. Hop to the next one, and then very quickly jump to the stone, and then make your way to the end and very quickly jump to the other rope. You'll automatically climb up, jump to the right, and we want to pull the lever. And once you have control of the carrot again, immediately jump back onto the rope to avoid dying. Jump down to the ledge and make your way to the right, and we want to use the pickaxe on the ice, and that is going to give us some meat. Once you have that meat, we're going to make our way over to the sword. Pick up the sword. You're going to cut yourself in the process, and it's going to give you a small vial of blood, but it's everything for creating the perfect recipe for your Jabberwocky. Once you've done that, you need to drop down, and you want to make your way to the left, and you want to grab your Jabberwocky off the rope. Don't forget him, because you'll need him to go forward. Climb down the ladder, and you're going to make your way to the right and back to the very large platforming stone face. Now, just like last time when you came over for the first part, you're going to make your way back again. It's the same process, just keep hopping across the different ledges until you make it to the right hand side. And once you've touched down, make your way to the very top, and we're going to create another soup. This time around we want to put the fish, the steak and the blood in, and then we want to put the Jabberwocky into the pot as well, and this is going to make him bloodthirsty and ravenous. This is now completing the second story of the temple level.
But Hilda saved my soul and brought me back to life.
If I hadn't revived you, your soul would have been stolen. So unfortunately, Valhalla was once again out of reach.
Okay, so we're now going to make our way into the Sky Battle, which is the room to the right of the Jungle Temple. So if you're one of the achievement hunters, you'll need to do this first story to help you bag yourself the appropriate achievements for completing the Sky Battle. Doesn't matter which story you do in this scenario, because actually it all equates to the same thing. So start off by picking old Captain Kirk picked up the poor fella.
Here it is. So I found that giant flying ship.
Now this is the longest section of the game, but it's not too bad. We want to start off by climbing up, and we're going to make our way onto the ship. So we want to go to the right, and as we come onto the ship, we want to make our way into this first doorway by the captain just here. And we want to inspect the chest that is just by the door. Once you've inspected that, we want to step out of the door and we want to talk to the captain. And he's going to talk about having a sky skirmish, but he's not interested. Once this bit of dialogue is over, we want to speak to him for the second time. And we're going to need to pick some specific dialogue options to get him to give us the key. So say, give me the key, or you're brave, I respect that. And then what happened? And where was the key? How's that stupid? Once you've done these dialogue options, he's going to give you the key to his chest, or the clue to where the key is. Now to get this, we need to walk off the ledge that is to the right of the captain, enter the room that is below him, and then inspect the world globe thing just here, and you're going to get the key. Once you've got that, climb back up the ladder next to him, enter his quarters again, and you're going to want to open up the chest, and you're going to get a bowl. Exit this room and make your way to the right, and drop down to the deck. Keep going past the shield generator, and we're going to make our way into the far right room. We want to grab the empty glass off the desk in here. Once you've got that, make your way to the left, and you want to click on the ladder, and this is going to send you down. Keep going towards the right, and you'll see your friend the Jabberwocky has found you. He's harmless, he's not going to do anything to you anyway. Make your way to the ladder, and you want to go down a floor. And then keep making your way right past this current ladder, and you want to use your beer mug on the tap that is just here, and this is going to get you an ale. Head down the floor, and we want to grab the cannonball that is on the right. You can't pick up two at once, and you want to grab the porridge oats that is just next to that cannonball. Head to the left, go past the bomb, go past the engines and Jesse and Wedge and Biggs, which is a reference to Final Fantasy VII, and pick up the shield generator. Make your way to the right and we want to climb up the ladder. Make your way to the left, and we're going to need to do a bit of timing here. So when the Jabberwocky is on the left hand side, that is when we want to go up the ladder, otherwise you won't be able to get past them. So when you clan, we want to go up and we want to go to the right, and we're going to grab the fire extinguisher that is hanging on the wall. Once you've got this, you want to use that on the Jabberwocky. That's going to scare him off and get rid of him and clear your path up. Make your way to the right, and on the right hand side you're going to see some milk. Pick that milk up, and you want to use the milk, porridge and oats in a bowl on the stove that is just next to you, and you're going to make a bowl of porridge for the captain. And now once you've got that, make your way to the left, and we're going to climb the ladder back up to the main deck. Go up one more floor and we're going to speak with our captain, and we want to give him the porridge, and then we want to give him the ale. I literally could not think of any worse combination that you could probably mix together. I hate to think what that guy's insides look like. Probably not very good. Once that's over, he's going to go downstairs. Make your way up the ladder, and you want to go use the cannonball on the cannon. The obvious statement there for me, I apologize. But climb down the ladder once it's done, and you want to make your way to the right. There'll be a little bit of a cutscene where it talks about Biggs and Wedge, that Final Fantasy reference once again. And they're going to talk about building up the ship and setting it all up. Now make your way back down below the deck, and we want to keep going down to the floor below. And then we're going to go to the bottom right hand corner, and we're going to grab that second cannonball. Once you have this, make your way to the left, and we're going to speak to Biggs and Wedge, and they're going to give us a bit of a clue around how to find a missing valve. Now that you have this clue, we're going to make our way back up to the top deck. Once you're on the top deck, go to the left, and we want to speak to the sleeping captain. He's going to talk about Scotty, and in case you haven't figured out, that is a Star Trek reference. Once we've spoken to him, this is the clue that we need to go. So we go back down to the deck, and we want to go to speak to Biggs and Wedge again. So once you're with Biggs and Wedge, you want to have a chat with them. They're going to give away the location of the missing valve that you need to get. And it's in the barrels where the beer was from earlier. So make your way to the right, and we want to go up one ladder. When you make it to the top of that ladder, you want to keep going to the right, and you're going to get a prompt to open up the barrel. So do that when you can, and you'll find a valve inside. You want to pick this one up. Go back to the ladder and head down, and we'll make our way to the left, and we're going to place the valve inside the machine just next to Biggs and Wedge. Once you've done that, you want to make your way to the left, and we're going to interact with these valves just over here. So we need to figure out the pattern to turn it on. So start off by turning the bottom left hand corner one. Yes, turn the bottom left hand corner, turn the top right valve, turn the bottom right valve, turn the top valve, and then turn the remaining valve. That's going to get all of these cogs spinning at once. Once you've done that, we want to switch the valve that is next to Biggs and Wedge again. This is going to start your engine up. And once you've done that, we actually want to talk to Biggs and Wedge, and they're going to give you a set of gears that we need to repair a cannon that we've got up on the top right hand side. Make your way back to the deck. Once you're on the top deck, we want to plug in this device into the shield contraption, and then we want to climb up the right hand set of ladders till we get to the cannon, and we're going to speak to a person called Zoya at the top. We want to give her the gears, and she's going to fix that cannon for you. And once she's fixed that cannon, it's going to give you the option to load the cannonball into the cannon. Once you've done this, we're going to make our way to the far left, and we're going to go up a level, and we're going to speak to Mal. And he's going to tell you that we're ready to go, and you need to climb up into the crow's nest. So head to the right and get to the mast, and climb all the way to the very top. Once you're at the top, you want to grab the telescope, and once you've got the telescope, you want to use it at the top of the mast so you can see the ongoing battle. Once you've done this, you want to climb back down again. Now this is quite a lengthy section, so we want to hold on for a second, but we're going to wait by this shield generator here. But when prompted by the captain, you want to turn on the shield generator. Once you've done this, make your way to the top right hand cannon, and when prompted by the captain again, you want to fire the cannon at the attacking airship. Once you've put a nasty hole in the airship, you want to make your way to the left, and we're going to go back to the shield generator again. So just wait here until prompted to turn the shields back on one more time. Now you've done this, we want to make our way up to the left-hand cannon, and we're going to fire that one at the attacking ship. When prompted, that is. Now we're going to need to drop down from here, and we're going to keep going to the right and keep falling down. Make your way below deck. And as you go below deck, it's going to fire a shot up at the ship next to Biggs and Wedge. Do not put that fire out just yet though. So keep making your way down, and you're going to see this bomb that is at the bottom of the ship, and we're going to need to drop that to the ship below. So hit the switch, that's going to cause it to fall, and that is going to practically destroy the ship that's been hassling you. Now make your way over to the fire, and we're going to use the fire extinguisher to put this one out. To stop the burning from continuing. Once you've done that, we want to make our way back up to the top deck. Once you've done it, you're going to have this squid thing board the ship. We're going to kick it in. So climb up the ladder, and we're going to punch the creature, and we're going to send it flying. It's going to actually hit the camera in true Smash Brothers style. Once that's happened, he's going to have dropped a axe that you're going to want to pick up, and out of the attacking ship, the vampire guy is going to spawn in, and you want to fight him using your axe before he can kill your friends. And that's going to end the sky battle. If you are one of the achievement hunters, you can now actually skip over to the final part of the story, which is called Keep of the Night.
There were consequences.
You were victorious, But that was not your goal, right?
Okay, so if you're one of the achievement hunters, keep going to the right now, and it's going to take you into the last section. If you're one of the completionist types of folks, you want to stay put in the section, or we want to walk out to the left and we want to come back to the right. And we're going to trip the next piece of story for the Sky Battle. The Sky Battle actually has 3 stories in total. We've just done the first one. So we want to tell the story. We want to say, sure, he was chasing my friends, which is in relation to the Jabberwocky. But we're going to pick the top option, and we're going to say, I broke his staff in the fight and he flew off. So this is you fighting, as opposed to fighting the vampire this time, we are fighting the warlock.
So I found that giant flying ship.
So this changes the complete dynamic of the puzzle that is in this level. We want to make our way on top of the ship. You'll see the scenario is slightly different this time. The captain is no longer the captain, and Captain Mal is now the actual captain, and he's not had to steal the ship, he's purchased it this time. So they're being chased by the Jabberwocky, which is looking pretty angry. But we're just going to ignore that, and we're going to keep going to the right. We want to enter the right door. We're going to find this first aid looking kit just on the side here. Now that we've got this, we want to make our back way over to the old school captain, and not the new cowardly captain. We're going to give him this first aid kit thing, and he's going to give us a piece of piping in return. So now that you've done this, we want to make our way up the walkway again, and we're actually going to go down beneath the deck. So drop down, fall down below, or head down below, and we're going to go right until we find the fire extinguisher. You can see that the bard Dan is here. He's not particularly keen on me anyway. I wanted to punch him in the face. Now he thinks I'm going to kick him off the ship. Kind of wish I did. Make your way down the ladder. You want to start heading to the right, and then we want to head down the ladder again. Grab one of the cannonballs just for saving time's sake, and we're going to make our way left across to Biggs and Wedge. Next to them there is the shield capacitor thing that you need to pick up again. Keep going to the left until you see the steam, and you want to use a pipe on it. And then we want to look at the valves, and we want to turn the bottom left valve, so the green one, and the bottom middle valve, the blue one, and that's going to restart the steam flow. Turn the valve, and that is going to get the engine kick started. Now speak to Biggs and Wedge, and they're going to give you a bit of a hint around the Jabberwocky. They're going to tell you to talk to Mal. Mal is the guy that is getting chased about. So make your way back up to the top deck. So when you're up, install the shield capacitor at the top here and wait for a few moments, and there'll be a bit of dialogue between Sigurd and Mal, and he's going to tell him that Dan knows where a net gun is. So head back down underneath the deck just to the first floor, and make your way over to the right, and we want to speak to Dan, and he's going to tell you that the old captain has it in his room. So make your way back up to the deck again once you've had this dialogue. Once you're back on deck, you want to go up the ladder that is on the left hand side, and then we want to go up to the cannon because we're actually going to load it this time. So install your cannonball. Climb back down the ladder, and we're going to make our way left, and we're going to go speak to the old captain, and he's going to give you the key to his chest that is in his quarters. Make your way back on the boat. Once you're back on the boat, you want to enter the first room, and when you enter the first room, you want to use the key on the chest. This is going to give you the net gun. Exit out of this room, and we're going to capture ourselves a Jabberwocky. So drop down. Make your way over towards the mast and stand in between it. It's going to give you the option to shoot the net gun, and that is going to capture the Jabberwocky, and it is going to bring order back to the top level of the ship. Once you've done this, we're going to want to make our way down into the depths of the ship again. So head on down. Keep going down. And as we reach the bottom of the deck, on the right hand side, we want to grab the cannonball. Make our way to the left this time before we go back up, and we want to speak to Biggs and Wedge again. Biggs and Wedge are going to give you some gears, kind of like in the first story that we did. And then we're going to make our way up to the cannon that is on the top right hand corner of the ship. Once you're up here, we want to give the gears to Zoya. She's going to fix the ship. And then it's going to give you the option to install the cannonball once it's done. Now that you've done this, make your way to the left and go up and speak to Captain Mal, and he's going to give the go ahead for an attack. Once he's given the all clear, make your way to the right and climb to the very top of the mast. Once you're at the top, pick up the telescope, and then we want to use the telescope to observe the battle that's going on. Once this is over, climb back down again. Now hover by the shield generator, and until prompted by Captain Mal, you'll get the option of switching it on. So hold fire for a second. Now that you've done this, we want to climb up to the right, and we're going to use the cannon on the top right hand side. Now that you've done this, we want to make our way to the left, so drop down, wait by the shield generator machine that is just here until prompted, and then once you are prompted, use the generator again. Once this is in play, make your way to the left and start climbing up the ladders to the left cannon, and use the left cannon when prompted to by Captain Mal. Once this is done, you want to make your way to the lowest level of the deck. Once you've done this, make your way to the left, and you want to pull the switch to drop the bomb on the ship below. This is going to cause it to back out of battle. Make your way to the left and use the fire extinguisher on the newly formed fire from when it unleashed its attack. You need to do this as well. And then make your way back to the top of the ship. Once you're back in control of Sigurd, we want to go fight the squid man that is at the top here, and this is going to cause him to drop an axe. He's going to go flying up. Axe is going to come down next to the guys, and he's going to hit the screen. Pick up your axe, and then after a few minutes, the warlock is going to come out of the ship, not the vampire this time. And you want to use the axe on the warlord, and you want to pick the option, I won't let you have my friends. This is going to complete the second story of this section.
consequences.
Okay, so now that we've done the second story, we can go on to the third. As previously mentioned, the third story is not required for an achievement. You can carry on straight to the next section on the right hand side. Now, we need to rerun the Sky Battle again, but with a slightly different story. It's following a very, very close to the same stories that we've just run, but it's got a slightly different outcome on the ending. The puzzle does not majorly differ.
Haven't you heard how I got
So we want to pick the options of sure he was chasing my friend,
well, here it is.
and then we want to pick the option of I tried to stop him once and for all. So we're going to start that one, and we're going to attempt to wound the warlock. Okay, so getting this level on the road, we want to start off by boarding the ship. So make your way to the left, and we want to go up onto the main deck. So once this is over and the little fighty cutscene is over, we're going to make our way to the right. So we're going to drop down to the main deck, ignoring the situation once again. And we want to go into this room just here, and we want to pick the option of picking up the first aid kit. Make our way to the left, and we're going to go back to the original captain that is just stood outside. And we want to give him this first aid kit. So slide down the ramp, give it to him. And once we've done that, make our way back onto the ship, and we want to go down one level into the crew holds. So keep going to the right, down one level. Didn't mean to go back up there, but I did. A bit of fiddly at times this game. Nonetheless, still a very good game. Make your way to the right, and we want to grab the fire extinguisher. There is no point in talking to Dan, he's not very helpful. Climb down one more ladder and climb down the next, and we're going to grab the first cannonball as always. Make your way left to Biggs and Wedge, and we're going to grab the shield capacitor thing that is next to them. Keep going to the left, and you want to fix the broken pipe, and then use the valves, and we want to pick the green valve and the blue valve, so bottom left and bottom middle. Speak to Biggs and Wedge, and they're going to give you a tip off around getting rid of the Jabberwock. Turn the valve that is next to them, and then we want to make our way back up to the top deck. Now once you're on the top deck, wait for a little bit, and you're going to get a bit of dialogue between Mal and Sigurd. You can install the shield capacitor now. Once you've done this, go down one level, make your way to the right and speak to Dan. Dan is going to tell you that the old captain has the net gun. So we're going to make our way back up to the top deck once that dialogue is over. Once you've done that, we want to go up the ladder, and we want to make our way to the left, and we want to go down the ramp for boarding the ship. Speak to the fella, and you get to the other side, and he's going to give you the chest key. Make your way back up onto the ship. And you'll want to enter the top room, and you'll want to use the key on the chest, and this is going to give you the net gun. Exit out to the right, and we want to drop down. I make the mistake of going down a floor here, don't copy me. Make your way to the right, and we want to go stand by the mast, and it's going to give you the option of using the net gun on the Jabberwocky. This will catch him eventually. Okay, so once that little cutscene's over, make your way up to the top left cannon, and we're going to load in the cannonball. Now that you've done this, you want to drop down to the main deck, climb down the ladder, keep going down even further, and then down one more level, and make your way to the right, and we want to grab the second cannonball. Head over to the left, and we're going to have a chat with, a chat with our friends Biggs and Wedge, and they're going to give you some gears. Make your way to the right, and we want to make our way back up onto deck. And we want to go to the top right hand corner cannon. Now you're up here, give the gears to Zoya, and she's going to fix the cannon for you. Once that's done, load in your cannonball. And we want to go to the far left and we want to talk to Captain Mal again, and this is going to trigger the war sequence. Once you're done talking to Captain Mal, you want to climb to the top of the mast that is in the middle of the the deck. Some serious deja vu going on here, and it's a little bit like life on repeat. So climb up the ladder, and once you get to the top, you want to pick up and use the telescope. Once you've done this, you want to make your way back down. So this is a case of now waiting for Captain Mal's prompts once again. So when he tells you turn on the shield, turn on the shield. Now make your way to the top right hand cannon and fire this one. Now make your way back to the shield generator in the middle of the deck, and when prompted by Captain Mal, turn the shield generator on. Now go to the top left hand corner and you want to fire the cannon one more time. Top left one when prompted. You'll now need to go to the lowest level of the deck, and the boat's going to attack us from underneath. So climb down all of the ladders till you reach the bottom. And once you've done that, make your way to the left. We're going to go over to the bomb that is just there. Once you arrive at that bomb, pull the switch next to it just to drop it. And that's going to cause it to fail. Now make your way to the left, and we want to use the fire extinguisher on the fire. That's going to put that out. And once you've done this, make your way back up to the top of the ship. Once you're back on the top deck, one of these funky looking squid fellas is going to jump out again. Climb up and you want to fight the guy, as always. He's going to throw down his axe and you want to drop down and you want to grab that one in preparedness for the next fight. So what's going to happen now is the warlock is going to come out of the ship, even though he's a bird person that can fly anyway. Use your axe on him, and we want to pick the option, try to kill me first, weakling. This now completes all stories within the Sky Battle section. Okay, now I apologise for the dodgy cut here. It's because I realised I did the clips in the wrong order based on the choices I've made. So the next clip is also meant for the achievement hunters. So we are now in the Keep of the Night room. I've already told one story in this place, but I'm going to go through in the correct order, so I apologize for the dodgy editing here. So when we're in here, we want to pick the options of tell a story, armies who fought each other, and then we want to pick stroke those pointy-eared weaklings, which is in reference to the vampires. So once you've picked these options, we're going to defeat the elves, and we're going to keep the orcs alive. So to do this, we need to do a sequence of events. This is very short, but there'll be a bit of dialogue in the beginning. Let's make our way to the right, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab this bucket that is just by the house. We then want to grab the hammer that is next to the house and use the bucket on the well. Make your way to the furnace, and you want to use the bucket on the furnace to get the claws. Make your way to the far left, and we're going to come across this hanging rock here. We'll need to use the items out of the furnace to clip the rock off. We then want to grab the candlestick off of the table and make our way to the far right hand side. And we're going to climb up the tower that is on the end here. So we want to climb on up. When prompted to use the hammer, we want to fix the catapult with the hammer. And then we're going to need to put the rock in, and we're going to need to flick the switch. Now at this stage, this will bag you the achievement for using the catapult. Okay, so once you're down from the tower, we're going to need to pick up these arrows that are getting fired at you. We're going to need to take a grand total of 8 at minimum for this to work. So keep picking them up. Once you have enough, you'll be told you've got enough. And then we're going to need to make our way back to the sword. So once you have those, make your way to the left. And then we want to just throw all of the arrows onto the sword. So keep tapping A until they're all gone from your inventory. And then use the candles on the arrows. It's going to light it up. That's going to cause the ice to melt. And that is going to get you the sword. And this is going to finish the first story of that last section. If you're one of the achievement hunting guys, this is it. This is going to bag you the last achievement of the game, and you don't need to continue any further. This will be the full 1000 achievement. So if you're signing off at this point, just drop us a like, comment, subscribe, and happy hunting.
And then the stone giant began.
But apparently, before that, there was no worthy enemy. So again, no Valhalla.
Okay, so we're now back in the tavern, and we're going to go back in and do this story again. This time we want to click tell me the story. We're going to say armies who fought each other, and we're going to pick rushed the orcish clans. So this is us now going after the orcs and making sure that they get defeated this time around. So this mixes it up a little bit. We have to use the other side of the situation rather than the side that we did in the beginning. So we start off by going to the right anyway. We still need to grab the bucket, and we still need to go to the well. Use the bucket on the well to get the water, and then use it on the furnace so that you can get the plier-like things. Make your way to the left, and we're going to use the plier-like things on the rock. That's going to give you the rock. Grab the candlestick off of the table, and then you want to climb to the top of the ladder. Once you're at the top of this ladder, place the rock into the catapult and fire it away, and that's going to defeat the orc army. Climb back down, and they're going to start to rain an arrow storm on you again. You want to bag yourself 8 arrows that are dotted around the area, so collect them all up. Once you have enough, we want to make our way to the right, and we want to go back into the cave with the sword. And once we have those, you want to throw all of the arrows underneath the frozen sword. So put all 8 of them down to create a big pile. use the candlestick on it again, and that is going to melt the ice, give you the sword, and that is going to allow you to fight the Dracula guy again. Okay, so now we're going to need to replay this again 2 more times for the completionist in you. We are going to get a slightly variant of the story, however, yet the puzzle still remains exactly the same. Apologies for the dodgy cut here because of just the way things played out. So now we're going to pick the option of saying undeads raised by Nil's staff, which is the top option. Once you've selected that option, you want to say tried to save the alliance. So start this one off, and it's going to be basically the same puzzles as before, so I'm going to keep this very kind of brief. Kick it off and listen to the dialogue. Make your way to the right, and we want to grab the bucket and the hammer that is by the anvil. So pick up the bucket, grab the hammer that is by the anvil. I had to listen to that second wife joke, it was quite funny. Pick that one up, and then you want to drop the bucket into the well, and that's going to get you the water. Use the water on the furnace to get the tongs. Once you have the tongs, make the way to the left, and eventually that you're going to arrive by a hanging rock and talk to the goat along the way. Chop that down, that's going to give you the stone. We want to make our way to the right, sorry, to the left. I'm going to grab the candlestick first, but go to the right. Keep going all the way to the very end, and we want to make our way up to the top of the ladder, and we're going to use the stone on the catapult as well as using the hammer on it to fix it. So fix it first. Once it's fixed, put the stone in, and then we want to fire that away, and that's going to hit the undead army in the distance. You'll also see the achievement pop at this time for me using the cannon, the catapult, but you can use it in all 4 versions of this story, it doesn't matter. Now that you've done this, you want to get down from up here, and we're going to go about picking up 8 arrows. So the arrows will fly in, pick them up off the floor until you've got 8. Once you have all of those, you want to make your way back into the room, and you want to throw them underneath the ice. So put down all of the arrows and keep going until you have the option of selecting the candles. He's going to set that on fire. That's going to get the sword in, and that is going to bring up the end of this fight. And this is going to complete this level.
And then the stone giant began to rise right from under my feet.
Alright, and now we've got one last shot at this story. So to do this, exit to the left, come to the right, and we're going to pick the next set of dialogue options. This is the last set of dialogue options that are available to you. So we're going to tell the story. We're going to say that undeads raised by Neil's staff, and that you supported the army of darkness this time. So tell that story.
So it was dark.
And you click any button, continue, but it's the same puzzle yet again, but just in reverse with a different orb, different target in the background, which is the Alliance. So make your way to the right, and we want to grab the bucket off the floor. We then want to use the bucket on the well, and then we want to use the bucket again on the tongs. Take the tongs and go to the left, and we want to use the tongs on the hanging rock. Next to the hanging rock, we want to grab the candlestick, climb up the ladder, and we're going to go use the catapult. So load in the rock and fire that at people. Okay, so now they're going to start shooting arrows at you again. So head down to the bottom of the ladder, and you want to grab up as many arrows as you can. You need 8 in total. Careful not to get hit. You can see my tombstone just there where I got hit earlier. Once you've got enough, you want to make your way into the right, and we're going to go place all of the arrows once again underneath the ice stone. So throw them all down, and then you want to use your candlestick to light them up, just to melt it off. And that is going to complete the last story of the game. I'd recommend that once you're done with this part, make your way to the right and go out of the tavern, and there'll be a bit of information about potentially a chapter 2 to this game. Other than that, I've been Drastic Ed from the Achievement Squad. If you find this guide useful, drop us a like, comment and subscribe, and happy hunting.
And then the stone giant began to rise right from under.
But apparently, before that, there was no worthy enemy. So again, no Valhalla.